Hey guys, it's Jen from JenPlans, and I know these have been out for a little bit of time now, but I wanted to still share them, especially because gifting season is coming up. And so if you're looking for planners that are a little less color all over the place, these are a really great option. So like if you want to be like in an office environment where you don't want to have like this exploding everywhere, even though I love this, maybe it needs to be like a little toned down. Or if you have just other people in your life who really like to plan but need things to be or want things to be a little more neutral and subdued, this is such a cool new line. And in the past, Erin Condren has done a focused planner, but it has been coil bound. And so this year, it looks like they're offering them in this soft bound option, which is beautiful, and it also lays flat. So the books are flexible. So they've moved away from kind of the hardcover for these particular planners. And then these are two little petite planners that are the same content as a couple of the things that are already out, but they just visually look a little bit different. So this one is a budget book, and you can tell it's just kind of a little more block letters, not quite as much color popping out everywhere. So I'll do a little comparison between this and the other one. And then this one is a wellness log, which again, you know, there's a colorful version of this, but if you want a less colorful version, or if you have people in your lives who need to keep track of stuff and they don't want the color everywhere, this is a great option as well. So I'll talk about those in a second. Right now I want to go through the focused collection, and I'll start with the big one. I'll start with the planner. So this is the big one. This is the focused planner. It looks like the weekly layout is horizontal. So this is all of 2020. So this will start in January. And in the beginning, you have this book belongs to, goes right into the year at a glance. And then there's a whole list of holidays that are already like predetermined for the year. And it shows you a couple years ahead too, which is nice for planning. And then on this side, you have a space that you can put special dates or deadlines or birthdays or, you know, whatever you would like to keep track of. And then it goes right into January. So this is the monthly layout for January. There's an itty bitty little February calendar up here and a December back there. I love having the little monthly on a big monthly so that I can see ahead and sometimes behind, but at least ahead. And then it goes right into a little like, kind of like an overview notes page. You can use it. You don't have to use it for that, but it looks like it's set up to be like, you know, what are all the things I need to do? Maybe notes for the month, and then a dot grid space just to kind of use as, I don't know, any general planning that you need to do for the month that isn't date specific. Maybe you can use it for goals or things you need to do, or just any other notes that you need or want to take specific to any particular month. And then it goes into the weekly layout. Like I said, it's horizontal, so the days run from the left to the right of the page. And then it looks like they give you full days for Saturday and Sunday, which is great. Some of the horizontal planners combine them, and so it's if you need full space for Saturday and Sunday, this will be a good option for you. And then of course there's a note section at the bottom, so you can do notes here, to-dos here, or combine them and use them, you know, pretty much however you would like. And all of the weeks follow the same format. And so you get, you know, of course, the whole month of pages that are weekly. And then it looks like, I don't think there is a lined set of pages before January. I didn't see one. So that might just start after January. Yep, there wasn't one. So before February, you have 2 lined notes pages, and then you have a whole month, and then another page that's kind of like a productivity I don't know, to-do list. I hope that they incorporate something like this into the life planner. I know that they usually keep it a little more colorful and labeled, but I love the idea of having all this, like, all this notes space surrounding a month. They used to have like 4 line pages before every month, and I used every square inch of them. And you know, over the years, if you've been an Erin Condren fan, you've seen them kind of take them and give them and take them and give them and change them. And I'll be interested to see what they do this year, because they usually make a slight tweak at least. So I'm curious to see what they do. So anyway, you go through the rest of February, and then it will follow the same pattern. You'll have the lined notes pages, like 2 lined notes pages, which is full size, which is so nice. And then it'll go into the monthly layout, and then you'll get kind of that like checkbox dot grid sectioned, I don't know, I'm calling it a productivity page because that's what they've called them in the past. And then more weeks. And so it continues all the way through the end of the planner until you get through December. And there are some notes pages in the back, looks like 4, I think, 1, 2, well, I guess if you count each individual sheet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then some space for contacts if you need to keep track of that. And then there's a future mini year at a glance. And that's it. So this is the focused planner. This is the larger one. Again, it's soft bound. It's very, very flexible. There are 2 ribbons. Let's see if I can find them. There are 2 ribbons that go through, so you can use them kind of to mark, I don't know, maybe if you want to keep one in the month, one in the month and one on the week. But this is an interesting layout, and I really love that this is truly a neutral option. I know that after the life planners came out this year and they said colorful and neutral, the neutral was still neutral, but it definitely had a lot of pastel tones. This is neutral. I mean, there is this is no frills, all down to business. But I do love, even for a no frills planner, you still can't go to a store and buy a planner that has all of these notes pages and pre-planning pages in between each and every month. It's one of my most favorite things about Erin Condren planners. So this is the big one. There is also a smaller one. Now, the interesting thing is, if you've been familiar with EC products, most of the planners this size have been, or the smaller ones have been this size. This is the focused notebook. So this is just lined pages. And of course they have the other soft bound notebooks that have a more shimmery finish. This is, I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of like a treated, it's not real leather, but it feels kind of leathery. But it is, again, very flexible, and there is a ribbon. Are there 2? I think there are 2 ribbons. Yep, 2 ribbons for this one too. But this is the size that the other smaller planners used to be. This one, I don't know if you can tell, is bigger. It's a little bit thicker. It's definitely wider. And still soft bound, so you can still lay it flat. But it's so interesting to see kind of a mid-size planner. It's not that much taller. It's a little bit taller, but not that much taller. So I don't know if this helps. I'll line it up right at the bottom and on the spine. But you get I don't know, a couple millimeters up there, and then maybe a centimeter on the side. I don't know, maybe more than that, maybe 3/4 of an inch on the side. And then the layout on the inside of this is the same as the other one. So you have, go back to the beginning. So you have your cover page, you have your year at a glance, your holidays and special dates, right into January. And of course, future months will have those line pages before the month starts. But this one will have kind of that what I've been calling a productivity spread before the weeks start. And then these are what the weeks look like. And again, full options for Saturday and Sunday, and then a whole bunch of space for notes. Again, another thing that I just love about EC planners is all the space for notes. It's something, that's the reason I started using EC so many years ago. And then you get to the end of the month and you have 2 lined pages, just like the other one, then your monthly, and then this spread, and then a bunch of weeks. And then at the end, it's kind of the same thing. I think, probably 6 or 7 notes pages. Yep. And then contacts, and then the year at a glance. So this truly is just a miniature version of this, but the thing that's pretty cool is that it is slightly bigger than the standard size for a softbound. So again, if you're looking for a more neutral option, or if you're looking to give somebody a more neutral option that maybe doesn't, just doesn't want all the color, these would be a great option. And of course they'd make a great gift. So these are all, well, except for this is a notebook, so it's obviously not dated, but these are all 2020. So January through December. So those are the focused notebook and planner. And then these 2 little petites, of course, you could use these in the on-the-go folio, but if you have somebody that wants them to be a little toned down, who still needs to or wants to keep track of budget stuff or wellness stuff, these would be great options. So I'll show you kind of a comparison. Well, I'll walk you through really fast, and then I'll show you a comparison between this one and the colorful version. Budget book still has a savings tracker, still has a monthly overview, and still kind of pre-fills a lot of categories. So you can certainly add your own on the bottom, but these are just kind of suggestions. And then 2 full spreads of a spending summary. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of a spending summary. And then you go into the next month. And it just kind of goes on repeat until you get to the end, where you can have, I'm assuming this is like the other one where there are a few different, a couple debt trackers. So if you're paying off a credit card or student loans or whatever, you can kind of keep track of that starting balance, what your minimum payment is, and then, you know, if you're making any extra payments, what those would look like. So there are several of those. And then there are stickers in the back. Usually people that are using a more neutral, straightforward planner, maybe they're not using stickers, but either you can take them and use them in yours if you use a colorful one and you're gifting this. Or, you know, I know plenty of people who do like a more neutral planner, but they still like to put stickers here and there. So this is the budget book. And just to kind of show you comparison between the colorful and this version. So this is like the, you know, the beginning of a month, monthly overview. And this is what it looks like in the more colorful version. So these are these pages. So you still have spaces for all of the same things. It just looks, you know, it just looks a little, one's a little more neutral than the other. And then the spending summary, kind of same deal. Of course, you have like the little flags with the asterisk, but content-wise, it's the same. So you're not missing any function. It just, the form looks a little different. And then at the end, you know, of course, the stickers are the same. They're just colorful. And the debt trackers are, I don't want to say color coded, but kind of, you know, just different variations of colors. So that's the difference between the new kind of more streamlined neutral budget book and the original more colorful budget book. And then the last thing is the wellness log. So this, again, same content as the other wellness log, but this one is just a little more neutral, a little more streamlined. I have, I don't know, somewhere I have a video of all of these other ones, the more colorful versions. If you'd like to see more of that, I'll find that and link it in the description of the video. But basically this is taking you through, you know, if you're keeping track of activity or water, steps, hours that you're sleeping, your meals, like a food log, it's tremendously helpful to use. If you're struggling with any kind of medical condition, sometimes it can be really, really helpful to keep this information and share it with your medical provider so that they know like exactly what's going on, and they can see like, oh, you know, maybe this is why you've been experiencing, you know, whatever symptoms, or maybe you just want to keep track because you just want to keep track. So this is a wellness log. It has, you know, there's weekly kind of tracking and then monthly progress and goals. So this is more geared toward like fitness and health, diet, exercise, water intake, activity, but, you know, certainly can also be, you know, if you're logging things for medical reasons. There are other more specific medical like treatment Petite planners, and so I'll link the video in the description of this one. But this one is pretty straightforward for activity. So it's called the wellness log. So that's it. If you want to take a peek at this one, just so that you know what the more colorful version looks like. Again, same function, just like a little more colorful. Actually, this one, the colors are kind of mild in this one. So same content, just a different style. So again, these would make great gifts. If you know people who need or want to track these things, this would be a great gift option. And then of course the focus planner. So I'm excited to see how people use these. I haven't seen a lot of people on Instagram or on Facebook diving into these and using these. They really suit themselves well for work, or just, I don't know. I know a lot of people in this planning community who post a lot of pictures aren't using a lot of neutral planners. They're kind of diving into, you know, the slightly more decorated versions, but I love seeing stuff like this too, because I'm much more of a function person than I am form, but it's always fun to see what people do. So again, this is the Focus collection from Erin Condren. I'll link everything in the description of the video so that you can check these out for yourself, but I'd love to see what you think about them. So let me know in the comments what you think, and thank you so much for watching.